All right, welcome to part 2 of my PvE series, probably one of the few and only PvE series I'll ever do. Most of this channel will be dedicated to RTA content, tuning teams, really specific RTA high-level concepts. But for now, Comtos again just dropped this update, so we have to go through our teams here. I don't know why I keep clicking that button. So in the previous video, we showed you the Steel Fortress, and now I'm going to show you the Punisher's Crypt. So spoiler on this one, the tuning is not the best, and the reason why the tuning is not the best is because I'm borrowing units from my Guild Wars. So my first unit that moves is my Vigor, and this is my Guild Wars Vigor. So this is speed, HP, HP. If I were to actually build this for Punisher's Crypt specifically, I'd make the speed CD HP. Second unit that moves, again, tagged to my Guild Wars, is my Yen. Speed, CD, attack. And the Yen is brought here because skill 2 allows you to deal dot basically every time you get a critical hit. So that's super nice. And this is basically what you're kind of ride to victory. And then the other units I have here are not for Guild Wars, so they're tuned a little bit better. So then I have the Rauk, I think. So Rauk is nice because it has the defense break, it brings your team along, right? And I also have the Verd, right? It crits and then constantly lets your team take turns and cycle. And then finally, you saw earlier we had the Crow. Basically, in the previous video, it's attack, CD, attack, and it's basically your finisher. Now, in this one, the boss attacks you over and over, and the goal is basically, you've probably seen in other videos and other streamers, the goal is basically to dot the boss down and nuke it down fast, right? So in this team, the one unit, and before I get into the units I would replace, I would say on average this is getting me somewhere around a minute to a minute 20 runs. This will run occasionally to 2 minutes or 140, which is talking about 5% of the time, if somehow my Crow gets nuked out or my Yen does not use skill 2 for a very long time. So those are the two instances, and it takes a lot of RNG for that to happen. But for the most part, pretty fast, consistent run. The one unit, I would say a couple units are variable, but one that I might replace at some point is the Crow. So the Crow might be replaced for another Yen. I might build another Yen. I've also seen Orochis, but I was thinking about replacing the Crow at some point for a second Yen, because the dots actually do a lot of damage. When you see the boss take a turn, that's a lot of damage that it does. The other thing you could think about doing is probably think about replacing maybe that Rogue for another sort of like a Bastet or something like that. Or replacing Crow and Rogue for like a Bastet Orochi. I believe Topa V is using something like that right now. So yeah, so that was a 105 run, pretty standard. This run is a lot more consistent than my other Steel Fortress team. This one I find is an easier boss. This is the one that I think people ran a little bit more of when it first came out because this is more straightforward. When you talk about zerging the boss, not preventing debuffs, it's a lot easier. Straightforward, just get the dots on, kill the boss. So this is straightforward, and the Vigor is on great runes. So if I was on someone who did not have as good of runes, I would slow everything down. I think the Vigor does need to go first. I like to have its ability to give speed buff and its anti-crit buff up early, as well as skill 3 to give defense break. I think it's just nice to have that unit running up front. Another thing I would do if I were to tune this and didn't have the constraint of having Guild War runes on, I would move Yen later. So I think Yen needs to come after my defense breaks, just simply for more damage. But overall, pretty happy with this. I mean, it's running about a minute to a minute and a half, maybe a minute 20. But as you can see here, right, like if Yen came after a defense breaker, that would be huge, right? That would be great. But it's just minor things that would maybe increase your run speed by 2 to 3, maybe 5 seconds at a time. What you're really looking for is those dots, right? Dots are just increased damage, right? That was a lot of damage there. And again, these runes, aside from the Yen and the Vigor, are not very good. Like, those are like 30th string runes. I think most of you will have runes like that, except for the top 2 units. And again, as noted in the previous one, I don't tend to read my artifacts as I go. I just collect and go. Yeah, pretty simple team. Just relies on dots to carry it home. So other variants you could make probably would be, I've seen a lot of Rikas and I've seen a lot of Asimas, Orochis, Ragdolls. There was one that was like a 40-second team with like double Asima, Ragdoll, Orochi, right? Unfortunately, we don't have the LD luck here. We only have, we have a Tian Lang, but we don't have any like true LD luck with like Ragdolls or double Asimas. So we're stuck with this, and I think this is fine. I think as long as you can get 1 minute, 1.5 minute runs, what's going to differentiate an account that has more artifacts than another is just how much uptime do you have, how much time do you have to farm and whatnot. And again, as mentioned in the previous video, one thing that helps you farm more, I think, is just mentally go through it. It is a drain, it is a grind. Coming from a top player is a lot of work, right? You just collect everything and go. Collect and don't think about it. Come back to it later. Because mental health, mental space is very important, and we all have things to do in the day, right? I've read a lot of posts actually of people like neglecting studies and whatnot because of this, and I would highly recommend against it. This is one way to kind of help. It's just kind of automate. So anyways, you can see here that boss is going down pretty quick, pretty consistent. You get a defense break, get a couple nukes on, it's over. And this is a 118 team. This is pretty consistent with what I've been seeing here, so no surprise. And yeah, so thanks for watching. This is a pretty simple team. Let me know if you have any comments, thoughts, or any other things you would like to see. Thanks for watching. Next up in this channel, we will have more reaps. We have our special pack openings that'll be coming later this week, and then we'll have some actual heavy-duty RTA content, which is a lot more, I'll say dry, but very, very specific in terms of how to speed tune your teams and what kind of situations you can rune your teams around depending on using the knowledge of ticks and speed. But yeah, drop a comment, drop a like, or just follow me on Twitch or watch me on Twitch is fine. I don't have a consistent stream schedule yet, but when we do get one, hope to see you guys when I'm on. Thanks for watching.